So, you want to learn how to source rent-to-rent deals through letting agents. Well, you're in the right place. On this video, I'm going to share all. Simon here, the founder of Rent-to-Rent 2.0, and I've done countless rent-to-rent deals. I've done over 60 myself and loads for my mentees and masterminders. And on this video, I want to break down exactly how you can source HMO deals. And I did a video, it's actually the best performing video on the channel about how to source deals through letting agents. And on this one, I want to go even deeper. I want to unpack HMO deals through letting agents specifically. If that sounds good, you're in the right place. There are three main types of landlords that you might find HMO deals from through letting agents. The first one is what I call a professional investor. And this is when you're looking on Rightmove and you can see all singing, all dancing, ensuite, beautifully presented HMO. So naturally, it's going to be very, very hard for you to acquire these properties because these landlords know what we know. They've spent a lot of money and therefore they want the maximum return from their investment, if you know what I mean. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh, do you know what? Forget about it. But what I want you to do, top tip number one, is don't go in there for those properties and just offer half the rent. You're wasting your time. You're wasting the landlord's time. You're going to lose rapport with your agent. So don't do that. Okay. But there is one little exception where you might be able to do these deals. And that is if they're student landlords and for whatever reason, they've just missed the market. So from around July, is a great time to reach out to agents and say, look, do you have any student HMOs that you haven't yet filled? And the landlord would consider a company let. That's the line, okay? I'm gonna break it down again. You call a letting agent that's clearly marketing student properties, HMOs, and you say, hey, do you have any student HMOs that are not let for the next academic year where they would consider a company let? I can't believe I'm giving you all this value. If you're finding this valuable, hit the subscribe button. That's all I'm asking. Come on, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going, right? So you're like, well, actually, yeah, we've got two properties, Simon, that have just been renovated and we've not managed to let them now. You know, there's less international students. Come and have a look. Then what you can do is you go and look at them, okay? And you can probably say, look, this is my business model. I can't pay the top rent, but what would be the least the landlord would consider? Now, normally what happens is they would only want to commit to that for a year and then they'd want to try and get their full return for the next year. But that's okay, because if they're sexy HMOs, they're going to be fully furnished. You're not going to need to spend any money anyway. And I actually did one of these where it was a 9-bed, or technically it was 1 5-bed and 1 4-bed together. And the landlord accepted around 40% of what they normally got because it was just going to be sat there empty. And then I think I managed to make $2,500 a month off this deal. I had it for 10 months and I then gave it them back and they did the students. So sometimes Rent-to-Rent 2.0 will identify these opportunities and pounce on them. And that's why you're with me on this channel, because they don't teach you this on the courses, okay? So that's the first type of investor and the eventualities, you know, what's gonna happen. The second is a tired landlord. This is someone that's a bit, you know, over it. They don't want to invest money in their property. It's smelly. It might not have as many bathrooms. It's tired. It's wood chipped. And obviously they are going to struggle to consistently let those rooms. If it's a student property, the students want these nice new builds now, new properties, new HMOs and these fancy blocks. And if it's professional, they're just never going to be full. So what you can do is you can say, look, right, I can't offer you, so pause. The sexy investor, the professional investor might want $5,000 a month. The second tired one might have been at $4,000 at one point, but they've come down to 2 and now they're at, you know, 1,800. Now the single let value of this property might be $1,000. In other words, other family let properties on the same road might only be $1,000. So what you can do is you can say, look, do you know what? I can see 5 downs, $1,000. Like, you know, if we was to guarantee the rent, take on all the maintenance, do a cosmetic refurb, and just make it so you can just relax? Would you accept 1,200? And I've had a lot of deals where they were like that. Because what do you think happens when somebody can't fill a HMO? Eventually, they just have to go for a single let. And last but not least, the third type of landlord you're going to be able to potentially source letting agent deals from, HMO deals, are properties that are not currently let as a HMO. They're not HMOs yet. So they just want a single let value for the property. You pay $1,000. Then you split it up into 6 units and then you generate $3,000 and you generate the cream. Now, naturally, you are going to need to do certain conversions. So the initial startup cost will be higher, but the rewards will also be higher too. So I've done a number of ones that, are mini-mos where I've done certain additional safety works, but I've not needed to get a license. And then I've gone the whole hog where I've actually fully converted the property. So now you've got a bit of an insight into those 3 types of deals, okay? It doesn't seem like a hard sell because the professional investor, you can save them. Most of them won't work, but every now and then you can save them and they'll love you. The tired landlord, they're struggling, so they're gonna love you. Only issue is they might not want to do any works and the property might be too rubbish for you. And the third one, they're gonna love you because you can pay the same, if not a tiny bit higher. And, why not have a company let so they don't need to worry about it? So I hope you found this video useful. I am going to be putting together a serviced accommodation version of this video. So stay tuned, hit the subscribe button for that. If you've not already, head over to Simon Smith Online. We've got events. We've got the first rent-to-rent app. There's content, there's downloads, there's all kinds of gorgeous stuff. Plus you've got the podcast. And I'm just going to keep the content rolling for you. Make sure you're good. So I hope you found this useful. Don't wait 25 years. Get creative.
Introducing Creative Cashflow Plus, the first rent-to-rent app and leading platform dedicated to supporting you on your property journey. Ask the experts anything. Be held accountable so that you can smash your goals. Mastermind with other rent-to-rent specialists. Access our deal clinic to get your deals analysed by a pro and unlock hours of videos and podcasts guaranteed to help you take your rent-to-rent business to the next level. Get the ongoing support that you deserve. Join us, Creative Cashflow Plus.